Welcome to Legal Scholar Academy, where distribution of knowledge is a scholarly obligation.
And we bring you another story of universal love, and this story is called Heer Ranja. The story takes place in Pakistan. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed from Europe in search of a sea route to the East Indies, but ended up across the Atlantic in the New World, some portions of which are now known as the United States. Around this time, that is at the end of the 15th century, a remarkable love story had just concluded in what is today Pakistan. The story takes place at the banks of River Chenab. The River Chenab, which means the moon river, because the word Chan means moon and Ab means river, has fascinating love stories associated with it. In fact, the very origin of the river in Himachal Pradesh is a story of love. Two rivers, one Chandra and the other Bhag, flow from the melted snow. Whereas Chandra moves south, Bhag moves in the opposite direction in the north. But finally Bhag changes its mind, flows south and mixes with Chandra to become the Chandra Bhag river and becomes the river Chenab. Then it crosses the boundary between India and Pakistan and flows in western Punjab, and finally mixing with other rivers, fuses with the mighty river Indus and falls into the Arabian Sea. The story of Heer Ranja takes place on the banks of River Chenab in the area of Jhang. The story takes place about 800 years after the story of Layla Majnun in the area of Najd. The two stories are stories of love, and they take place in the context of Islam. Layla Majnun takes place in Najd when Islam is only 60 years old, but Layla Majnun takes place 800 years after the introduction of Islam. And the poets who narrate these two stories, they narrate them in the context of Islamic morality and piety. The central plot of the story is rather simple. Dido Ranja is born in Takht Hazara by the river Chenab. He is born in a relatively modest farmer's family with a lot of brothers and sisters. He is the youngest. He has no interest in tilling the land. He spends most of his time playing the flute. When his father dies, the brothers and their wives are very critical of Ranja for wasting time on playing the flute. While in Takht Hazara, Ranja has heard about a beautiful Sayal girl called Heer who lives in Jhang. Playing on the flute and thinking about Heer all the time, Ranja is completely distracted from the practical life of the town and the family. When the brothers and their wives taunt Ranja for his wasting time, Ranja leaves the village and begins to walk towards Jhang. On the way, he wants to cross the river because Takht Hazara is on the west side of the river, whereas Jhang is on the east side of the river. So Ranja has to take a boat in order to cross the river. Ranja sees a boat with a beautiful flower bed resting in it, and tired after walking for such a long time, Ranja goes and sleeps on the flower bed. When he returns, she finds a stranger sleeping on her flower bed. She gets very angry. She wakes him up, and for the first time the two see each other. Like all true loves, this is the love at the first sight. Heer is bewitched with Ranja, and Ranja falls in love with Heer. So Heer asks Ranja to come with her to their house, and she would request her father to hire Ranja as a caretaker of the buffaloes. Heer's father has a lot of buffaloes. He thinks that Ranja will be a good caretaker. But the real thing is that he wants Ranja to be very close to her, and working for her father would be the best way for having Ranja so close to her. His father, looking at Ranja, thinks that Ranja is too fragile to take care of the buffaloes. But when he insists, his father hires Ranja as the buffalo herdsman. Such is the story of love, that when lovers are separated from each other, the love deepens. But when the lovers are close to each other, the love deepens. Hir and Raja are now so close to each other that they are almost together all the time. During the day, Ranja would take the buffaloes to the forest, and Hir would follow Ranja and bring a nice lunch of fresh bread and ghee. True love or Sacha Ishq always has a villain. So in the case of Hir Ranja, Hir's uncle called Kadu becomes the villain of their love. Kado is determined to defeat this love. He asks Hir's father to forcibly marry Hir. After some reluctance, Hir's father decides to marry Hir off to another person in another town. This is a devastating blow to the love of Hir and Ranja. Hir and Ranja are separated. Hir refuses to consummate the marriage, and Ranja, dejected, wanders into the forest. He meets a Hindu yogi and asks the Hindu yogi how he can become a yogi himself. The Hindu yogi tells him cannot become a yogi unless he relinquishes all feelings of love for Hir. Ranja, he says to the Hindu yogi that he would never ever give up his feelings for Hir. We see this in the case of Laila Majnu also, that Majnu refuses to pray at Makkah that love feelings in his hearts for Laila be removed. Similarly, we have a parallel story over here. Ranja refuses to evict feelings of love for Hir from his heart. So even though he becomes a yogi and has an earring in his ear, but refuses to give up his love for Hir. Though Hir and Ranja are separated from each other, they do not give up on love, nor do they give up on the hope to meet again and meet forever. So instead of sitting in darkness and sadness, they make plans to be together and to see each other and to be close to each other. So this is a remarkable turn in the story, that instead of accepting their fate, they begin to fight for meeting again. And they contrive and they plan, and Ranja as a yogi goes to Rangpur where Hir is married and sees her and makes plans so that Hir can escape from the house and run away. So Hir and Ranja run away from Rangpur where she was married, and they are together, and now they want to marry each other. The Sayal family of Hir, when they realize that Hir is bent upon marrying Ranja, they make a plan and they tell the couple that the tribe is ready and accepts their possible marriage in the near future. So they ask Ranja to go back to his family and prepare for wedding and bring a barat, which is people of his family, in order to wed Hir. So Hir is decorated, Ranja is decorated. Ranja comes on a horse with his brothers and their wives and his friends and other people of the town to Jhang, where Sayal family is located and where Hir's father prepares a great wedding ceremony for both to be together forever. However, Kado, Hir's uncle, he is not happy with what is transpiring. So he plans to poison Hir, and at the wedding day, Hir is poisoned and dies. And of course, when Ranja finds out that Hir has been killed, he dies too. And the story ends tragically, and both are buried together in a grave, just like Laila Majnu. And their grave is still a place where lovers visit in the area of Jhang. Over the years, many poets have captured the story of Hir and Ranja, but the most captivating narration came in the 18th century, about 200 years after the actual events took place. And the name of the poet is Waris Shah. He was born in 1722 and died in 1798. Just for historical context purposes, Waris Shah completed his long poem of Hir Ranja in 1766. This is like 10 years before the American Revolution. Waris Shah is a romantic Sufi poet of Punjab, and he was a contemporary of John Keats, Lord Byron, and Shelley. But for a very few years, because all these three poets were born in the last 10 years of Waris Shah's life. Much like Nizami Ganjavi, who narrated this story of Laila Majnu, Waris Shah narrates the story of Heer Ranjha in classical Punjabi poem with lot of folk wisdom, Islamic piety, and beauty. Waris Shah opens his epic poem with a broad Sufi assertion that God is love and God has created the universe in the essence of love. The story of Heer Ranjha and the way Waris Shah captured it highlights 2 or 3 points of great significance. First is that true love is mutual. There is no such thing as unilateral true love. Love is a relationship between 2 persons, and this relationship is mutual, and each person in the relationship seeks the other with equal power and intensity. There are no games, there are no plays. It's complete honesty between the 2 lovers, and their love is deepened when they're together, and their love is deepened when they're separated. So physical or temporal distance does not negatively affect their relationship. The second significant dimension of true love is that true love is brave. It knows no barriers. It fights the social and economic barriers that are placed in its way. So any ethnic or racial or religious or national boundaries cannot defeat true love. They can create distance and separation, but they cannot eliminate the quality and intensity of true love. The third thing that we find in the story of Heer Ranjha, as captured by Waris Shah, is that true lovers experience a sense of fusion that no other relationship can offer. This experiential fusion is the essence of true love. This idea of experiential fusion has been captured in many immortal Punjabi verses. For example, one verse, Aakho ni manu dido Ranjha heed na aakho koi, Ranjha Ranjha kardi ni main aape Ranjha hoi. In this verse, Heer is saying that I am so much in love with Ranjha that I have become Ranjha. Don't call me by the name Heer. You should call me Ranjha because that's all I am.